you're always connected to the Niners, my takeaway, I think you and I probably disagree on this, is my takeaway is you can't own the room as a quarterback if another guy is in the room who everybody likes. And
Right.
Garoppolo is really a dude's dude. He's a guy's guy. And to me, you got to find out if Trey Lance can play. And you can't ask him to own a room when the world's best looking, coolest dudes 2 cubicles away. I think the Niners have to just move off of Garoppolo and get a 6th-round pick.
I completely hear you, but this is the counterpoint, and this is the conundrum. So you've got a team that is built to win now. This is the window. Right. George Kittle, you don't know how long he's going to do this. You know, you've got guys signed for this moment, and you were good enough to win now. If Jaquiski Tart, catches the interception, you might have won it last year. You almost won it 2 years earlier. Yes, you are all in on Trey Lance, whether or not that was the person when you traded those 3 first-rounders that you were envisioning. Could have been Mac Jones. I won't relitigate that, but whatever it is, you did that for Trey Lance. So you are all in. You are built to win now. Let me add another weird element to this. You are constructed offensively to take advantage of Jimmy Garoppolo's unique gifts: incredible accuracy, willingness to hang in, the guts to deliver a ball in tight spaces, and the uncanny ability to do that accurately. So Jimmy's not perfect. We can talk about what he doesn't do great. He does those things great, like elite. And you've got Debo. You've got Ayuk, who's an after the catch guy. You've got Yushik on the backside. You've got Kittle. All these guys can get the ball in tight spaces and go. So that's what Jimmy does great. And so if you've seen Trey Lance practice now for a whole year, I believe this is what you think if you're Kyle and the Niners coaches. In fact, I know you think he is really smart. We love that. He is athletically awesome. He has a great arm. We're not sure that he can take that great arm and throw that ball in those tight spaces really accurately. And and so that's the only reason I think deep in his heart, Kyle may want it to hedge, because your team is built now. I don't think he's going to, because of what you said, which is very logical. And I don't think even if he wants to, he'll be able to, because I think Jimmy will force the issue, as nice a guy as he is. And I think all of that's right. But if you're a Niner fan, it's a little scary, because you were sitting there nicely at SoFi Stadium watching your team with a 10-point lead in the NFC Championship game against a rival and thinking, we're going to win the Super Bowl with Jimmy. This is amazing. And now you're going, okay, so we're basically playing Russian roulette here. We are either going to be in awesome shape with this young guy eventually, and hopefully the window's still open, or we traded 3 ones for a guy who's not able to do what our team was constructed to have the quarterback do. And by the time we fix that, everyone's going to be gone. That's a scary feeling.
Well, you and I may have the same source and may not, but I've said when I saw Trey Lance play, aesthetically, it's ugly. It's not Phillip Rivers ugly, but it's not a pretty delivery. It's really rough. Secondly, what you're saying is what I'm hearing, is that he's not, his delivery is, they're kind of rebuilding it. He gets arm fatigue. It's not an easy throw. He needs days off, and they're worried about his.
I've heard that too.
And they're worried about his accuracy. You and I are hearing the same things, because you and I know Andy Reid moved off Alex Smith, who got into the playoffs, because they were at practice. They saw Mahomes, right? Yeah. By the way, Buffalo, even though Josh Allen struggled first year, was all in because they were at practice.
And I want to caution fans here. What happened with Josh Allen is as far as I know, such an anomaly that it is a once in forever thing, that a 55% passer could be a 70% passer, right, like that. Like they say, you can't coach accuracy. Brian Daboll apparently can, and is a head coach because of it now. But that was weird what happened with Josh Allen. But for the most part, it is, it's tough to get way, way more accurate. Now, the arm fatigue is a really interesting thing, and I have heard that too. And I just would, again, like, so people don't think this is just the two of us, doing our conspiracy theory. Yeah. Let's just look at some facts. Last year, they were going to use a Trey Lance package. They were thrilled about it. Yeah. That was going to be a big, big weapon for them. They started out doing it, and then they just stopped. So something happened to convince Kyle Shanahan, I don't gain by putting Trey Lance in situationally. Another thing that happened is they were 3-5. And I went to the game that dropped them to 3-5 at home against the Cardinals. They looked flat. They looked done. Their playmakers weren't making plays. They look like a dead team. And usually when you look like a dead team and you traded 3 first-round picks for a promising rookie, the March before, we know what happens. Jimmy, you're on the bench. Trey Lance, let's see. Now they hung with Jimmy. They beat the Rams. They got well. They made the run. So maybe Kyle was a half away from doing that anyway. But the fact to me that they stopped using Trey Lance at all, and they didn't put him in when the season was crossed up, tells me they were seeing something that was concerning. Let me add one other thing to the mix. Deebo Samuel got really upset, and we're still not sure why. And I'll try to find out once we start doing actual, live journalism again, now that we're fighting through, the understandable access issues caused by the pandemic. But maybe Deebo is upset because he wants to get paid now. And the reason he feels an urgency is because he knows Jimmy can get him that ball right in a way that sets him up for lots and lots of damage. And if he does,
hey, this is the Stephon Diggs issue. Stephon's like, I got a quarterback that doesn't throw deep.
Right.
Josh Allen, he wanted out of Kirk Cousins. He's like, he doesn't throw the deep ball. I go deep.
Yeah, and it could be schemed sometimes. Like Hollywood Brown, I think, was like, yo, your scheme won't let Lamar use me the way that I want to be used. And I don't mean to compare Hollywood Brown to Diggs and Deebo, because unless I'm crazy, he's not that level. But I think, there's a reason Deebo felt so strongly and so urgently about it. And there may be other reasons, and I hope to be able to tell you exactly what they are in due time. But in the meantime, it also makes me wonder.